Hi, everybody. Welcome to David's Garden Kitchen and Electric Cord, where the heater is going on and off all the time, keeping the water temperature at 78 degrees. And that's one of the problems with having a tropical fish like a betta fish, because it's hard to keep them happy. Today we're going to be making a linguine dish, seafood linguine. And it's going to be a really kind of a unique dish because I'm doing it all for $6, and I'm going to show you how to do this. I picked up a couple dollars of let's put this to the light here. A couple dollars of really good quality shrimp from New Zealand, or no, excuse me, Argentina, and that's about $2 worth if you go to buy it professionally. We're also going to add a can of clams, Cape May from the dollar store, no MSG. Cape May clams are made in the East Coast, so they're coming from the Atlantic Ocean. We were also fortunate enough to get Lobster Bisque today, condensed soup. They're selling this at the dollar store for $1, which is kind of cool. We're going to add to that a 50-cent can of sweet peas. So far, we're up to $4.50, and then I managed to find some non GMO Barilla linguine. Non GMO, they're starting to say non GMO on it. All of that linguine is going to be $1. That was on sale. I actually paid 87 cents for it, but we're going to add a couple about 50 cents for the vegetables. Some onions, 1.5 onions, and 3 stalks of celery, and some spices. All right. I'm going to go ahead and fill up the water with some filtered water from my filtration system. I've got a reverse osmosis filtration system here. Linguine is the, it means mix it all up with some noodles. Linguine is a special type of pasta. It's a little thicker than the other pasta. It's bigger than regular spaghetti. So, I've heard this about canned food. So you don't have to use the canned lobster bisque. You can replace it with milk and cheese and all kinds of things. You can also replace it with this. I was going to use this. This is an Alfredo mix. This cost me $1 as well, but today I'm going to use the lobster bisque instead. So you could use this instead. 4-cheese Alfredo is a really good option. But I'm going for that really extra tasty seafood taste. All right, so I'm going to put this on the back burner and turn it up to a level 5 to get the water going for the linguine. Comey's testimony about him not being under investigation is directly contradicted by his statement in the PDF file that he sent, that he approached Donald Trump in January 6th to say he was under investigation. So a lot of you are dealing with the semantic issues of what the FBI says and does that's secret. And that's where the gray area starts, because when the FBI is under a deep investigation, they can't tell people that they're investigating. So when Donald Trump asked to know if he's being investigated, he was actually breaching federal law. And when he said he wanted loyalty from Comey, Comey couldn't say he was loyal to him. And he couldn't say he was being investigated, because that would have violated the tenet of the job of director of the FBI. So in other words, everything that Trump did forced an awkward position for James Comey. That much we can determine. And we also believe now from Comey's testimony that Donald Trump is trying to go after him personally, which is a very bad tactic for a president to do. And he feels personally, very offended by it. He's trying to malign his character. So, hey, we shall see what happens, because this investigation is just starting. No, Trump was never supposed to know he was being investigated. Don't misinterpret this. No, Trump was never supposed to know he was under investigation. He violated the law asking Trump asking Comey if he was being investigated. Hey, we got the water on. I'm going to put a little salt water in the back here. Hang on. And the light on. A dash of sea salt in the water as it heats up. I'm going to take it up to level 6 just because I want that going. Okay. My pan here, I'm going to give it a little clean. A little rinse, make sure everything's nice and clean. Okay. I cook quite a bit, so these pans get a lot of action. I'm going to put that on the front burner on level 3. So we got level 6 on the water and level 3 on the front burner. All right, so as you know, this entire investigation is going to continue, and it's not going away. Comey only had to say that because he had to keep the integrity of the investigation. Many of you don't understand how the FBI works. I don't either. But I can tell you from reading the testimony that the PDF file that he suggested was his testimony confirms that he told Trump on the 6th of January that he was under investigation. That's the important issue. Not that he had to tell him later, because Trump kept hounding him for answers. All right. We've got the onions we're going to cut up here. We've got our ingredients all set up. I'm going to start doing some dicing and slicing. You don't want to use the ends of anything. I'll be back. Well, cardboard boxes are more edible than cereal, they say. There was a study done in the 1980s. They suggested that cardboard boxes for cereal boxes were more nutritious than the actual cereal itself. I'm not kidding. I wish I was kidding. That's why I get really good cereals. Like even this cereal, it looks kind of funny, but it's an Annie's Organic Berry Bunny. This was only $1 on sale. You can buy cereal for $1 if you look around. Organic cereal, too. Yeah. So these dollar store ingredients are going to put together a real flavor blast. It should be fun. Looks like I'm going to need to sharpen this knife. Wow. I did not expect it to be this dull. That's not acceptable. There's no conflicting testimony when you look at the body of the whole thing. You have to understand, take it in context. Comey was having to remain objective and tell Donald you're not being investigated because Donald kept pressing him and violating obstructing justice. So as Donald pushed for more obstruction of justice, Comey had to respond by telling him, no, you're not under investigation. Okay, I'm going to use a little olive oil in this. So I'm getting some virgin olive oil, organic. Great deal on this stuff at Costco right now. The usual 3 tablespoons are fine. Cool. Is our picture up? Is video on? Yes. Okay, good. All right. Well, I will not accept a dull knife when cooking. So I have a knife sharpener here. It's an old one, but it's still a goodie. An oldie but a goodie. Rinse it off. That's a lot better, I'm sure. Okay. Okay, so we'll continue our little cutting soiree we have going here. Wow, what a difference. You want a nice 1/8 inch dice on the celery, and you don't have to take the spines off of it. It's actually good for roughage in this particular dish. Go for a 1/8 cut. And we'll throw the celery in with the onions and get everything going. I'm also going to put a splash of dill weed on top of it. Got a lot of onions to chop up. The more onions, the better. Make sure any outer leaves don't get caught in it. We're going to get that cover on there. Ooh, dillweed, yeah. Love that dillweed. Go for about a half a teaspoon of dillweed in this recipe. Lots of dillweed. I'll probably add some later. Yeah, so I went with 1.5 onions, so you can vary. It doesn't really matter. The celery is kind of important to this dish. If you have celery seed or celery powder, that's an alternative. These are organic yellow onions I have here. But you don't have to cook with anything in particular. You know, just food is food as far as I'm concerned. I'm not very particular, really. I used to be. I used to be a rep for organic food, and I would, urge people to eat organic whenever possible. And then I realized, oh wow, organic's getting aerial drift just like regular food. You can't really protect anything from the environment. Same with radiation; it's like too much. Yeah, there's no testing of the food quality with radiation right now in our society. I'll tell you how incompetent our country is. They're not even doing tests on the they're not even doing tests on the radiation on our coastline. They're not warning people about the dangers of cell phones being held up against their head. They aren't talking about the chemicals they're dumping in the skies. We're living in a totally corrupt age where they think that they can lie to us and treat us like a bunch of farm animals. The peas are Del Monte, and by the way, Del Monte is starting to publish Non GMO on their cans. This can is from 2 years ago, so it doesn't have the Non GMO on it, but they started labeling Non GMO on a lot of their cans. It's kind of cool. Okay, while that's cooking over there, we're going to open up our Lobster Bisque that I got for $1. I was going to use this Alfredo sauce, but I think this is just as good, if not better. I'm going to put it in my Pyrex container. Then I'm going to fill up a can of milk. Fill the rest with milk. That's close enough. If you have water, you can also add water. Most of you have water. And get everything, all the residue out of the can. That's good stuff. That was cooked in a lobster broth with lobster in it. So the taste should really be good. Yeah, milk. Yeah, milk. It's nominal expense, so I wouldn't consider it a big problem. Yeah, I don't think that's going to really affect your budget much. Same with butter. I'm going to add a little butter to this onion mix. And you'll probably need Parmesan. So you may want to get some Parmesan going here. The water's getting hot, so we're getting very close to putting the linguine in. I'm going to take a pat of butter like that big and throw it in the pan over here. I'm starting to caramelize the onions and celery. It's not hobo food. No, this is really good stuff. No, this is not slop. Do you want to get banned? Seriously. Yeah, Jojo, I'm going to ban you. This is your last warning. You get 15 minutes to check yourself out, analyze why you're calling this food bad. You know, Psycho Behavior asked me in the beginning of our show, he said, David, could you make a show about just microwaving banquet food for $1 or $2 a serving? And I said, no, I can't. I can't possibly direct you to go buy a banquet meal, which is full of preservatives and GMO food, when I'm making you something top quality without genetically modified main ingredients. So, I mean, it's psychotic to think that you're going to get good quality food when you go buy a banquet meal. Yeah, same with the canned ravioli. I mean, you're going to get constipated. Your intestines are going to lock up. You'll become addicted to wheat. Pretty soon you'll have to have bypass surgery, gastric bypass surgery when you gain 200 pounds. No, I'm looking at the fluoride article tonight. We're going to be analyzing it for authenticity. But thank you for sending it. Well, you probably won't see this on a plate, Frankenstein, because no, it's not a threat. It's just a reality. If you were lucky enough to see this on a plate, you'd have to actually cook it. But you're a farmer who uses genetically modified food, and you don't give a crap. So you don't deserve to look at my dinner at the end of this meal. I would love to do an outside cooking show, but unfortunately, I don't have one of the grills that you guys seem to want to have. I don't waste my money on propane grills. Stand out there waiting for somebody to take a crack shot at me in the back porch. No, Frankenstein is a farmer. I'm going to say that much. And he grows food for a living. Okay. We're almost caramelized over there. So I'm going to take the shrimp that I have here. You see that shrimp? My hands are antiseptically clean, so I'm going to take the shrimp and just cut it into little pieces. Like that. Leaving it in the water that it defrosted in. Now, these are shrimp pieces from Argentina, some of the best water in the world. Free of radiation, for the most part, because it's so south of the border. So this shrimp is about as good as you can get. You couldn't find better shrimp. And it's raw. Not been cooked. You cannot throw it in there until the last part of the meal. Yeah, I know. Okay. I'm going to take this amazing East Coast, the clam dish, Cape May, for $1 a can. Open up the can. I'm going to throw the entire can in this pan back here. right on top of the onion. Whatever's in there, I'm just going to put in there with the shrimp. Okay, we got a roaring boil going. I'm going to put the entire box of linguine in here. I'm also going to throw in a little Italian seasoning into the mix, into the water itself, to flavor the linguine. Look at that boil. A couple shakes of that, just for flavoring. I always season my water. And I'm going to take the whole container of linguine with my hand like that, pull it out, hold on to it like that. See this? And then break it right in there, right in half. And then drop it in and rotate. Drop it in and rotate. Okay. Immediately start stirring the linguine. It's going to take about 11 to 12 minutes. You don't want it to stick to the bottom. Then go over to your other pan over here. Give everything a nice little stir to make sure everything's nice and slightly cooked. And add your bisque. Keeping that level at a level 3. Take the water from your shrimp, pour it in the container that you just put the bisque, that you just pulled the bisque out of, and give it a little swirl. Now this is pretty shrimp tasty. All of the seafood flavors are going to be retained in here. And I'm going to let that simmer on the stove there at level 3. Lobster bisque. Yeah, I didn't expect to find that. All right. Now, there are gradually compromises you have to make in this type of meal. One of them is you're trying to make 10 meals for $6. Now, you could go to McDonald's and order 10 meals for $27 if you want. Because that's how much you're going to cost you after, everyone gets a Coke and some fries with bad oil and greasy crap, and everyone gets heart disease and nobody likes it. This is not slop. This is good food. The reason why I'm teaching you to do this is everybody should know how to cook very affordably. Look at that boil going on there. You definitely want to get it off the bottom. You don't want it to stick. So keep an eye on that. Be very vigilant. This is raw shrimp. I'm going to go ahead and top that off with a little bit of dill weed too. Now, garlic is an essential ingredient in these types of meals, so I'm going to put some fresh garlic in the sauce. So I take out some bulbs here that I keep to ward off, people that don't like garlic, I guess. It works too. I had a friend at one time who hated garlic, and he said, "David, you reek of garlic." And I said, "Well, you reek as a friend." Dillweed is just a great addition to seafood. I highly recommend it whenever you cook seafood. Okay, everything's cooking along here. You don't want to. The garlic needs to be prepped here, so I'm going to pound it like I do. Careful not to hit the edge of the sharp knife. That could be very dangerous. So give that a stir. Make sure it doesn't stick. There you go. Okay, the garlic is looking good. It pulls right off the skin when you do that, for the most part. I'm going to mince it up and put it in with the lobster bisque and the clam sauce with the onions and celery. Not cool? And it's really to add a certain flavor that you would normally not get from a store-bought meal in a package that causes cancer. Nice amount of garlic. render in there. Give it a little stir so nothing sticks on that one. Get that bisque going. Coming along. Yeah, looking good. Okay, I think I'm going to adjust this dinner to $6 for 8 servings. I've always, kind of overdo the number of people, because every time somebody eats my meal, they're like, David, could I have seconds? So I think, be realistic, I don't think I could feed 10 people with this unless they were all anorexic. So we're going to go $6 for 8. Hello, yeah, okay. I can invite 2 more people over now. Cool. Invite 2 less people over. But we're still beating the price of banquet meals, which are pretty, ridiculously low priced. I mean, I've seen banquet meals on sale for $1, but I highly, seriously doubt if you're getting the quality of food nutrition you're getting here. But whatever. I don't want to get into a verbal battle with the banquet company, because I think they do a good job for their price. If you have no other alternative to a banquet meal, then by all means stock up. And if it takes a long time to make food, don't waste your time. Just use the microwave and, wonder why you got cancer at a young age. It's no big deal, really. I mean, what's life anyway when you think about it? You live for today, right? I think it's a big deal. I don't want you to get cancer. I don't care who you are. You could be my enemy. I wouldn't want to wish that upon my enemy. All right. I think we're almost done here. Hang on. I always have to pick my bowl. I'm going to go use the bowl I made last week's dinner in. Wow. The linguine is almost done. I'm going to turn it off and cover it slightly. I'm going to sit in its own heat, because it's had a full boil for about 10 minutes. Yeah, that would be good. Did you make that bowl yourself? No, I didn't. It was made back in 1973 by the Corel Corporation. It's actually a Pyrex. Yeah, Pyrex brand. They used to make bowls like that, were heat resistant back in the 70s. Okay. Wow, this is really good. Okay, I think we're almost to the point where we're going to add the shrimp. Smells good, looks good. Hey, Doobster. We're almost to the point where we're going to add the shrimp to the gooey lobster bisque. Yeah, I have a history of everything in the house. I'm going to lift the cover because it kind of wants to air out in there. I've got a nice little boil going on back here. I'm going to let that come to a full boil, a roaring boil, before I add my shrimp, because they only take about 5 minutes. Some people accuse me, David, you're overcooking your shrimp. I know, I don't want to overcook my shrimp. They have to be tender. There's no toxic myoglobin at all. There's no toxic myoglobin at all in this meal. Yeah, in fact, the shrimp is harvested from the pure waters of Argentina by small dumpster children who work for next to nothing. No, I didn't get a perm. My hair is always really looking good. I have some of the best hair in the world. People say, wow, David, how do you do your hair so well every day? Well, it starts with not worrying about it and relaxing. Well, they weren't found near these shrimp. These shrimp were found away from dead bodies. I don't really shop at Whole Foods. I'll go in there for food samples, but the food prices are so high I could barely afford. A little bottle of truffles cost me $53, so I rarely shop there. That many truffles cost $53 at that store. Okay, we're almost ready to move our linguine out of the container. I'm going to turn the heat back up a little bit. I shut it off prematurely, so I'm going to go back up on it and cover it. I just want that to really cook because linguine is one of these things that's such a thick pasta you don't want to. Hey, my hair does not look like a rat's nest. How dare you? My name is David John Michael Sponheim. Yes. I have 3 names. Well, I mean, $53 for a container of truffles. I mean, when I go to England, I rarely ever go to England because I've never gone to England. But when I go there, I harvest the truffles myself, rummaging through the forest. And since I've never been there, I'm just imagining what it would be like to get truffles. You know, you guys who are on your perverted world trip of daily masturbation, you come in here after you already spent your load, and you keep harassing me because you no longer have any, sexual prowess left. Masturbating 12 times in the morning really takes you to that point where by the afternoon you have nothing to say. I mean, how many times have you orgasmed today when you came in here accusing me of being a kook? At least 12 times, and you probably didn't get off once. Let's be real here. I mean, you're probably completely impotent. You're a very impotent person. Okay, we got the little thing that I wanted. You see the little boiler thing going on here? See that? Ta-da. Oh, that was really hard. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's cook that for about 5 to 7 minutes. See these peas here? $0.50 can of peas. I'm going to drain out. And then I'm going to add water to it. And I'm going to drain it out again. I want to make sure I get in all of the, does that excite you? Some of you are getting turned on by that. Oh my God, we got a problem here. Take your drain can of peas, green peas, sweet peas, and put it in the Lobster Bisque with the shrimp. And then cover it up. Give it a little mix like that. Whoops. We're blowing over. Okay, that's done. We'll turn it off now and let it sit in its own heat for a bit. Get ready with your butter. And get ready with your Parmesan. You cook your shrimp and lime, doesn't it make it tough, Jojo? Yeah, that's one way to toughen up your shrimp, man. Yeah, use frozen peas. Use freshly harvested peas. Use organically hand-tended peas for $12 a pound. I don't give a crap. I'm trying to help people save money here, okay? Whoa, see that? Yeah. You've got to have some greenery in your lobster, in your seafood linguine, otherwise you'll feel like there's no vegetable. And everyone says, "Oh, aren't you serving a vegetable with this dish?" Shut up and eat your peas. Mind your P's and Q's. Now, Reddit's doing a top 10 cooking runoff to see what the top 10 cooking shows, and I believe this one could top all of them. I don't talk that way to Sarah. No, I'm very respectful. Sarah and I have an incredible relationship. It's idyllic, actually. We've only had a couple of verbal encounters where we disagreed on a couple big issues, and then we worked those out. You know, when she realized I perceived the world differently than she did, and I accepted the way she perceives the world, we worked our problems out. You can still agree on how to fix the world without, agreeing on the perceptions of what's wrong. I don't have any association with that person. You're thinking of another David Sponheim. I have no knowledge of that person in my life at all. I swear to you. I'll be glad to put my name. I'll take a lie detector test on it. You can be assured. I've never been to Kosovo either. There was a guy who was a sergeant whose name was David John Sponheim back in the around 2000. You may have him confused with me. I don't know. Ah, yes. Take that back burner and turn it to simmer. And now we only have one simmer burner going. That's all the heat we use for this entire meal. I've never been to Bosnia. I have no knowledge of that. I think you got that other guy confused with me. And he died. Crotch cam, where? I don't have wide hips, no. My hips are fairly small considering I weigh 230 pounds and I'm built like a brick shithouse. Yeah. Okay. Let's get the colander. Okay. He's probably a doppelganger. Yes. This is my favorite instrument in the entire house, the colander. Take that linguine. Be prepared for that linguine to be hot, so I put something down in there like, as you can see, I've got water down there from the peas when you were getting excited. I'm going to dump all that water out. I sometimes let the water go back in with the linguine so that it can, mix around here, just so it all drops out. Okay, then I'm going to put that in the bowl. And I'm going to put some butter in there immediately. Instantaneously put butter in. Another pat of butter. You can also add a little Parmesan at this point. And you want to let those flavors meld together and break everything up. Make sure that all your linguine is separated. You should have done that in the pan. If it hasn't separated, you've got a problem. Give that a little nice, gentle turn, like so. There we go. Once the butter is all melted, take your entire dish of the Lobster Bisque and pour it right on top. And that shrimp is still fairly fresh. It hasn't been overcooked. Gently mix everything together. You don't have to do a lot of mixing here. That's probably enough. Oh my goodness, this is incredible. It's absolutely incredible. I can smell it from here. It's so scrumptious. Make sure you get every last drop of that dish in there. Top it off with a little bit of Parmesan. You can also pepper to taste. You can add a little pepper. Doesn't hurt to put a little pepper on top. And then cover it up. And you've got yourself an amazing dish. We're talking 8 meals here for $6. Let that set and marry the ingredients, and you've got yourself an amazing dish that would make anybody's mouth water right now. I could easily make all of you go, wow, you really made this, Dave? This is incredible. Wow. I've had people say my food is incredible, and then their wives got really pissed off and said, you don't say that about my cooking. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned that there are people that are getting jealous when I see what a great cook I am. I mean, when they see it, they realize, wow, I can't compete. But it's so easy to cook. When you love to cook, it really is easy. And you can see how little effort this was. It's like zip, 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 we're done. No, I probably wouldn't bother. Hey, I think Cherry Breeze is looking at a real problem. I mean, I think she needs help. I think she's seriously in need of help. I would seriously ask her to get some assistance. It's a felony to call cops for no reason. And the Speed Getty is still a hit at our old folks' home. Well, good for you. Yeah. Good job, Dave. Looks good. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to sign off and head over into the other room and start up our regular show. I want to sign off things. Thank you very much for this Linguine experience. And we will be posting this tonight at 2 in the morning on David John Sponheim's YouTube account. No, I don't have lip fillers. All right, see you later. Toodles!